Okay, I don't know what I was looking up to be honest, but I found a lot of people my age and younger who are going through a similar situation. The reason that this is happening to them may not be the same as mine, but there's a reason I don't let you see me on video. Um, I have a condition with my mouth, in my with my teeth. Um, I had too much fluoride growing up, and my teeth are slowly going bad. Um, Trying to think. A couple years ago, I think 2008, I had to have five teeth removed. I had to have two on the bottom and three on the top taken out. Um, Now they were towards the back, but you could still see where the space was when I smiled and whatnot. So I ended up having to get partials, um, which are dentures, but they're not full dentures. Uh, I will eventually need full dentures, but for right now, they're trying to do what they can to save my remaining teeth. Anyway, since then, I ended up losing two more teeth in the front. A front tooth on the bottom, which you can't really see when I smile, but if I talk to you, you can probably notice. And most recently, I did have one of my front two teeth extracted. That one bothered me the most, I think, is the one in the front, because obviously when you smile, that's the first thing you see is somebody's front teeth. So when I had to go without my partial, because I had to get the tooth added to my upper partial, excuse me. Um, I tried not to smile, and when I talk, I would cover my mouth with my hand, because I'm very self-conscious. Now, this was a totally different dentist. He didn't do my dentures, but when I first came to Lebanon, I had a hole between my teeth. I had a cavity, and it went between my two front teeth. And when I went to get it fixed, he's like, "Well, why are you so worried about your smile and your teeth?" And he said, "Half the people around this town don't have any teeth, and they don't care." And it's like, "Well, I'm not originally from this town." It's like, and I do care. It's like I was raised. I'm not vain. I'm not into myself in any way. But I do want to make a good impression on people, and if I go around not having any teeth, people are going to start wondering, okay, wow, what's going on with her? Now, granted, not everybody can afford dentures, and I know I couldn't afford them if I had to pay for them in full. Luckily, my dentist works with me, and I do payments with him. Now, the oral surgeon, unfortunately, he don't. So you have to give him so much money to pull your tooth, and I have a real phobia with that, with dentists in general, and pain. I don't like pain. I've never had a tooth pulled before where I didn't get put to sleep, and the last two times I had them pulled, I didn't get put to sleep, and those are pretty traumatic experiences. So I'm going to have to start a savings fund and start saving money for the when the time comes that my other ones are going to have to be extracted, that I will be put to sleep. I won't go through that again. Anyway, the last problem with my front tooth was pretty bad. I had gotten a lot of pain, and my dentist is not in on a Thursday, and of course that's when my pain got really intense. I couldn't sleep. I felt like I was going to throw up. Um, so I found a dentist that would see me just to take an x-ray and, excuse me, tell me what was going on. And turns out I had a huge infection in the tooth, which, no surprise, it hurt. And the next day I woke up, I was going to call my dentist on Friday to see what he suggested, if he could get me in with the oral surgeon to get it pulled. Anyway, he put me on an antibiotic and gave me some heavy-duty pain pills, which didn't even work at the time because the pain was so severe. I mean, literally, it was starting to spread because my whole face was like puffed up by the morning. that I got up, and of course my dentist called me back then, and the secretary told me that if I had to get it pulled, she would call the oral surgeon and get me an appointment. And I said that would be great. Well, I go to the oral surgeon, he pulls my tooth, I get home, I start running this intense high fever. I'm literally shaking. I feel like I'm going to die. I mean, I had the biggest panic attack that you could possibly imagine. I get them from time to time. I treat for depression and anxiety. Uh, and I was throwing up. I mean, and there wasn't anything in my stomach. I wasn't drinking or eating anything. I mean, I was drinking water, mainly, and apple juice, but it was just horrible. I mean, I was shivering, my teeth were chattering. Um, and then to make things worse, I didn't want to get a dry socket. That's what I'm always worried about when I get a tooth pulled, is getting a dry socket. And I have sleep apnea, so I have to wear a CPAP when I go to bed. And, excuse me, at least for the first week, I didn't want to sleep with the CPAP on, because I was afraid that I would get a dry socket. Excuse me. Anyway, I sleep with my mouth open when I have my when I have my mask on. I don't really know why that is. I don't sleep with my mouth open when I don't sleep with the mask on, but c'est la vie. Anyway, and I really felt like a freak. Because like I said, I'm very self-conscious. I do care what other people think of me in a lot of ways. In some ways I don't. Like, I now got to the point where I don't go out every single day with makeup on, okay? If I get up and I don't feel like putting makeup on, you know what? I won't put it on. As long as I smell good, have clean clothing, my hair is brushed, my teeth are brushed, I have my partials in. I'm good to go. I don't need to put makeup on every day, okay? Because I do believe that true beauty is on the inside. And there are so many people who are so judgmental. I don't have a boyfriend, and I'm always afraid that if I find one, what he's going to think. And I guess if he's the right guy, he won't care, and he'll accept me for who I am. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has something they are self-conscious about, whether it's a birthmark or something. I mean, I have a bunch of medical things that are going on with me personally, that I find embarrassing now. Other people might not really notice it or might not find it as bad as I do, but I'm the one that it's going through it. I have psoriasis on my legs. On my one hand I have it. And I have it on my scalp. So it looks like I have dandruff, but it's not dandruff. I have tried all kinds of medicated shampoos, and I cannot find one that gets rid of it. It still itches like crazy. So that's another embarrassing thing with me. I will not wear shorts in the summer because of my legs. Now the stretch marks I kind of brought on myself because well, no, it's not all my fault that I gained the weight I did. A lot of the weight that I did gain was from medication. From, I don't know if it's my antidepressant or my anti-anxiety pills. I'm not on them anymore, needless to say, but I'm still having a really hard time losing weight. And I want to, because due to my being overweight, I developed type 2 diabetes. So I am on metformin twice a day, once in the morning and once at bedtime. I have high blood pressure, which I've never had before. I have high cholesterol. I think that's all that I've always had the GERD issues, the acid reflux, but whatever. And then on top of all that, I take medicine for depression and anxiety, and it helps, but I'll tell you what, I have to take some kind of heavy duty potent anti-anxiety pill when I go to the doctor. Now, that time that I went to the oral surgeon, I do have to say I wouldn't have had time to take anything because it was an emergency. He wasn't even giving me an appointment. He was seeing me in between patients. So he would come in, he'd inject me with the Novocaine, then he'd go do something, and then he'd come back and pull my tooth. I mean, I was pretty much in and out of there, but I'm a big baby when it comes to pain, so I was like crying, and all he was worried about was that I was going to make him look bad. It's like, dude, not everybody's going to have the same reaction I do. You know, I get myself all worked up. I get really nervous. This is with me whenever I go to the dentist, to the lady doctor. You know, I always get myself all worked up, and, you know, I always end up like, why? You know, for the couple minutes that he was in there in my mouth, why did I get so worked up for that? You know, same thing with when I have to go get lab work or get a certain test done. I get all worked up over an MRI, and, you know, after getting the MRI, it's like, why? Why was I so scared? I'm not afraid of needles anymore. I used to be terrified of needles. Seriously, I used to hide under the doctor's table. But, you know, I haven't done that since I was a child. But no, you know, my doctor, when I grew up in Sinking Spring, he never used to order lab work. You know, now I get lab work regularly, you know, 2 weeks before I see the doctor for a checkup. You know, I get everything checked. Oh, and probably if I lose weight, I could probably get rid of my sleep apnea too. Which I don't know if I want to do that because I like my CPAP machine. I know you're probably thinking, God, she's weird. Because a lot of people can't stand CPAP machines. My one friend who desperately needs one, now keep in mind, he's in his 60s and he's got severe COPD. But he brings that on himself. He smokes and all that. But anyway, he needs to use it, but he won't. And, you know, it's like, well, why not? He said, well, it feels like there's too much air coming at me. And I'm thinking, it's like, well, then go get it adjusted. You know, go get another sleep study. He's on oxygen all the time. And yes, I told you he smokes. We've had an incident with that not too long ago. I'm not going to say that on here, but let's just say it wasn't very pretty. As far as getting adjustments done to my partials, my dentist, well, he makes the partials, the dentures in his own lab, and he does adjustments for free. You know, if you need something fixed or adjusted, he'll do it for free. He won't charge you for it. He is really one of the best dentists I've ever had. You know, he doesn't work with everybody because a lot of people, you know, screwed him over. So I do understand, you know, where he's coming from with that. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little bit of insight on me.